doors and bolted for home, leaving me stranded. The very first thing I can recall is yelling out for help. Because our house was separate from the garage, it was difficult for us to communicate. My mom said later that she didn't look into it because she thought she heard a cat, not a kid. I was there for quite some time. I beheld 3 lights from the base of a flight of steps. They put their hands on me and ordered me to keep quiet. I was too afraid to listen at first, but they assured me that they would bring my mama and show me. I could see the building had something when I got to the steps. It resembled a classical Greek or Roman room with columns. I looked inside and noticed a hole. I didn't know how to get up those stairs. I was on the brink of a breathtaking abyss that I affectionately referred to as the well. Looking down into it, I perceived motion, as if DNA were being spun, but I was too young to comprehend. Everybody on our planet was praying when I heard them say, "Please help me, my daughter's sick. Please make her well, my husband's in the hospital. I really want that new car." 3 angels were asked to tell me my whereabouts. The location of Heart's Desire's room was mentioned to me. Their response to my question about whether or not all the wishes were fulfilled was, "No, Susie, sometimes what people desire the most isn't good for them." Because my mom constantly told me, just because you want it doesn't mean it's good for you. I was upset. Floating crystals and brilliant lights twinkled. Out of nowhere, I had a plan. At the tender age of 4.5, I had watched The Wizard of Oz, so when I saw the yellow brick road ahead, I named it after it. People built pyramids and then removed pavers from the base. In my view, the pyramids swayed. Their life's path and the work they put into it seemed to be encapsulated in this. They knelt down and pleaded, "Please, for the love of God, help me," before I even noticed. Heavenly beings rolled away these pavers. Returning them to the base of the pyramid restored equilibrium to their lives. After climbing up, they removed them and then repaved the road. "We are paving the path," was the response I received when I asked, "What are you doing?" "We are the ones laying the pavers, not you. Walking it is all that's required of you." I thought to myself, how do you know if you're walking it right? "We bless and block everything," they declared. "You have the option to force through a block, get severely injured, or shift if we put one in your way. Shift again if you see the same block. If you keep moving, you'll find that we're leading the way. We are aware of your best interests. You delude yourself into thinking you know what's best for yourself, but in reality, there's a huge difference." I understood that they were providing me with crucial knowledge, even though I didn't fully grasp everything. The room of knowledge was the location of my flashback. Unlike when I was a girl, that room had virtual literature. The virtual book industry was booming. I saw individuals make decisions about their lives. During their incarnation on Earth, they made decisions about their future in the room of knowledge. I listened intently, not comprehending a word. Individuals declared, "I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I can handle it." "It seems excessive, my darling," angels remarked. "In my opinion, you're taking on too much." Obtaining a PhD in life is what I refer to it as. Although pursuing a doctorate degree is an exciting and demanding adventure, some students have taken on too much. Still, they went ahead and did it, even though the angels warned them, "You have free will, this is your final decision, but we don't encourage it. It's too much." None of these people or beings that I presume to be human could be located. They reincarnated before my eyes. Even though I was unsure of the exact phrase, I could tell they had left. I heard they were on the move. Afterwards, I watched the animals in the room of companions play. They looked like pups, perhaps a year old, and were full of life and energy. Evidently, a lot of people had aged in reverse. Felines, pets, and souls. The interaction between the crossing people and their lovely animals was really mesmerizing. Once more, they encountered them. There is more to the story, but I could spend hours explaining it. My last sight was of a massive crystal pyramid whose faces were constantly changing. It eluded me to reach inside. If I survive, they said, I would not come back. It hit me then. Unlike me, those folks had crossed over and wouldn't be coming back. The scene then transitioned to a flower-filled meadow. As I sat among the yellow flowers that looked like daisies, I saw the animals running through the field. When I was very little, I turned around and saw a shaft of light that looked like a mountain. I struggled to climb the hill to get to the light. Unconditional love was a life-changing event for me. Just words fail to capture the awe-inspiring magnitude of this event. Our Maker appeared in the light. Long to go there, cobblestones and another celestial light were visible to me as I swiftly turned to the right. Go, the angel said. Like them, I wanted to float, but I couldn't. I was probably just floating, even though it felt like I was walking. After guiding me to water, the angels told me that it is the path that leads back to us. In retrospect, I see how it is similar to being enveloped in fluid when in the womb of our mother. They questioned my readiness as I made my way along the embankment, emphasizing that the trek would be difficult, but ultimately rewarding because it would allow me to help others. I longed for my mommy yet resented leaving. It was instructed that I go into the water and be assessed for fitness. Nah, I argued. I was completely unprepared and had no idea how I felt. An inexplicable love consumed me. At last, I was lowered into the sea. As I froze in the freezer, my mom overheard someone say, "Your baby's in the freezer." The sound, which sounded like a shout, was heard by her 3 times. She sprinted out to rescue me, whirling me in relief, for she knew what was happening. Was fervent. No hues, no mobile phones. She let me go and hurried over to get a phone. After I tripped and cut my chin, Mother told me to go to my room and get some air. Next, you'll wake up and look about. Paranormal activity was pervasive. It was under my bed, in the corner, and all along the hall. All over, covering my head with covers, I yelled out, "Go away, go away, go away." They seemed like the monster to me. I didn't get it when I was a kid, yet they continued anyhow. It was the road I took. My loyal followers have never left. Some nights they still rouse me with the words, "I just died, and my name's so-and-so, and you're going to find out." Then I would find out that individual passed away and gain some insight. Knowing simply that I had received the information, I was at a loss as to how to use it. Someone would phone and tell me that the best friend of someone's brother or sister passed away. It would occur to me, oh, they didn't die on purpose. They said it was an accident. When it happened, I would decipher the message. My siblings, a sister and a brother, also have this talent, although not to the same extent that I did. It sent my mom to the hospital for 2 weeks. A part of her said, "Don't talk about it. There's nothing here." She felt anxious. As a result, I kept quiet about it. To my friends, I once said that their grandma wanted to play. The loss of their grandmother led them to feel that I was cruel. I meant it actually. Then I said, "No, she wants to play." Their refusal was definite. My family dubbed the living room the eerie room. Hid because I would. When they arrived, I played with them. To be honest, I'd put on some Beatles, House, and Susie Homemaker. Considered them friends. I would then become terrified upon realizing they are insubstantial. In my memory, they withdrew. My relatives used to call it the spooky room, as I would communicate with entities they couldn't perceive. Becoming a grief and addiction therapist allowed me to assist those going through the grieving process. That meant my area. Doctorate in Divinity has prepared me to work with children who are critically ill. My life's work has always been supporting others. Understanding the hereafter has always been a deep desire of mine to aid in the healing process of others. It is merely a talk because I am a metaphysics professor. Just a chat, and you're making it so hard. I need to tell my students that faith in the incoming data is key. Why no one notices them is explained in the narrative of the sloth, the butterfly, and the hummingbird. Sloths move at a low vibration and high frequency. We'd be the sluggish creature, and when we're sad, our energy drops. The medium, like a butterfly, catches part, but not all of the information, and flutters higher and closer to the hummingbird. That is to them. Tragically, the sloth rotates around to watch the hummingbird fly 60 different directions, missing the vast majority of its flight. Because my vibration is closer to that level, I am able to notice more. I most certainly did. Before this, I recall just one thing regarding my 3rd year of life. When animals like cats died, I saw them float away because we had land. It seemed to me like that was the norm, existing without contemplation. Whenever we went for a walk in the rain, I would normally assume that you were wet as well. It seemed like everyone noticed that. At birth, I knew I had the skill, even though I didn't know anything else. Even though I was scared, I could identify to it, and it became more intense and complex. For some reason, I just knew they were ghosts. That perplexed me. Upon my return from the NDE, I found it pervasive and powerful. It was all over the place, and I wanted to shake it so much. I yelled out, "Go away, go away," but they persisted in their refusal to depart. Because it was so ordinary for me, I refer to it as my extraordinarily ordinary life as part of my journey. To those around you, it could seem strange that no matter what happens here, we are cherished and never have to fear. Even when dharmic and karmic events occur, our souls remain intact. Every one of us is vulnerable to harm to our vital organs, brain, and spirit. But our souls mend us, and the wonder of it is that we wouldn't have it if we didn't have it. The safeguarding of our spirit allows us to assist ourselves. Our souls guide us daily, so we can always know what's right. Our minds, hearts, and spirits get in the way of our listening abilities. I learned the most from this experience that my soul is love, and that this realization has helped me love myself. Difficulty level 1. What I mean is that I think love develops between us. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else is a famous saying, right? Declining to purchase. In my opinion, love is innate. We tend to be generous and kind. Loving oneself, though, is not easy. If we can remember that our souls are love and never wounded, we may tap into that lovely love's essence and return it to ourselves so that we can heal and be beautiful. I believe in reincarnation. No human being has enough time to master all there is to know and do. I can't believe someone could think it's conceivable when our lives are moving at such a rapid pace and are filled with lessons. We reincarnate, in my opinion. Before my eyes, decisions were being made by families in the Akashic Records room. They called it the Room of Wisdom when I was there, so that's what I'll call it. Decisions like, I'm going to return early, and then you're going to be and I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to show up now, were made in front of me by family members. I think we reincarnate because they made all these choices. The revolving door. I don't think so. An idea like that is heartless. I would depart from this place without communicating with, seeing, hearing, or sensing my loved ones. Would their better selves be able to endure? Sure. We can collaborate on the plans, though. 2 of my brothers and my mother took their own lives. Many people seek my assistance because they have lost a loved one to suicide. This includes children, spouses, wives, parents, siblings, and parents-in-law. Thanks to my best efforts at self-care, I am able to assist them. Still cry, and it's tough, but I'm secure, and I would be terrified if they returned without me and I couldn't communicate with them. It causes me difficulty. Hell is in people's minds, not in the spirit world. They're sad about what's happening on earth, but they can't change people's minds. We are compelled to seek aid. By meddling, they would be violating the concept of free will. Unfortunately, some men possess evil, negativity, hurt, and conflict. Thus, the spirit world is unable to stop it. It needs to be figured out. My heart aches for it. I, too, despise witnessing the pain that others endure. For others, it's either an absolute must or they simply don't know what else to do. How I perceive it, I feel a gentle tremor, an extremely slight tremor. Combatants are compelled to do so. Fighting is their destiny. But they won't know it or have a say in the matter until it's too late. People will feel startled and hurt unless they intentionally want to injure other people. After witnessing atrocities that our minds aren't meant to perceive, they come back in agony. The thought of becoming a part of the group is terrifying to me. When they come back, I know I've been a help. Those serving in Afghanistan and other conflict zones often contact me via phone to have a conversation. They point out, I can't unsee what I saw, and I have to do things I don't want to do, and I don't know what to do. We talk about, I have faith that there are good people among them. I don't think all soldiers are evil, but I do think the higher-ups who initiate and sustain these wars are mistaken. Indeed, I do. My mind is at a loss as to why someone would harm another person's spirit. Unfortunately, our culture makes it seem quite improbable that people will ever love one another. They should feel loved and appreciated. My apologies for the coughing. It got past the microphone and could need cutting. My apologies. Whenever a child asks for help, the spirit world will be there for them, and I want them to know how much they are loved. They can't force us to do anything against our will, so all we can do is beg for their assistance, and they'll try their best. Every decision we make has consequences. What we decide matters. Achieve self-love by acting morally, making wise choices, and helping others. Our soul journey is self-loving, the highest love. Our life path is comprised of all the things we do, including having children, getting married, growing up, and going to school. Love for oneself and enlightenment are our soul paths. That is fundamental to all soul journeys, and we strive to make wise decisions so that we can love ourselves. We stop looking down on other people when we love ourselves. Expansion of the soul, love, and wisdom are the essence of life. If you want to grow spiritually, you have to do things. We are here to broaden our spirits. I think if we could grasp it, we'd know why we have to go through tough times, to teach us a lesson. Pain is the strongest motivator for change, isn't it? My soul is swiftly enlarged by adversity. I just do what I want to do when I'm not in pain. Even in the face of adversity, my spirit longs to evolve and adapt. Change and transition are most driven by pain. When we're comfortable, we resist change, which is why we feel uncomfortable, isn't it? This is too cozy for me to shift into. Please don't change it. I can't progress if I don't change anything. Oh, I am well connected. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. Their time is appreciated. Coming out on July 16th is a book titled Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons, Wisdom from the Spirit World on Living, Dying, and the In-Between. I love it. In my opinion, Spirit penned it. Many people's spiritual awareness will be enhanced, in my opinion. At Susan Grew Official, you can find me on social media. I hope they pay attention, inquire, and develop. Infinite Life, Infinite Wisdom, the inaugural podcast in the Infinite Wisdom series, will premiere 1 month from now.